Alex here with part 17. Let me double check that. Yeah, part 17 of the My Docket series on Corazon real estate. As my previous videos, if you haven't checked it out yet, please take a look at part 0, going straight into this video. This involves, if I remember correctly, my application to proceed in forma pauperis, and that's it. I don't think there's anything else except maybe 4 or 5 ancillary documents. And I really wanted to put some time into this video because this is one of the things that a lot of people message me about. They'll say, hey, Alex, I can't afford an appeal. Well, I couldn't afford an appeal either, so I had to file a fee waiver. You can do it. It's hard. You don't have an attorney to help you, but you can file appeals for free, at least in my state, if you show the court that you just can't afford it, which a lot of people say they can't afford. And so going through this, I think is going to be nice for people to actually see this happen. Not only are you guys going to see me file an appeal for free, but you're going to see me win that appeal. So that is proof that a person with $0 can go to the Supreme Court and win. It can happen. It's not, a very frequent thing that occurs, but it can occur. This is something that I was able to pull off. In any event, mindset was definitely positive. I kind of expected it to get granted, but at the same time, I was so shocked by what Judge Freeman had done that I was like, maybe this judge is going to do the same thing. This is the chief judge who ruled on this motion, and he is going to grant the motion. But I mean, I was still pretty rattled by Judge Freeman's ruling, and it did really take my sort of expectations of the court down several pegs when I saw that ruling, just because it was so completely off the reservation. In any event, the Supreme Court does fix this mistake for me, though it does concern me. I mean, if you do this to other people, how many of them are going to know to appeal? All of that being said, let's just put that behind us. Let's actually go into these papers, and so let's go ahead now and take a look at what I have filed. Here we have the application to proceed in forma pauperis. Standard introductory paragraph indicating that I am appearing in, well, actually, no, I don't say, oh, no, I don't. I don't actually say that I don't have an attorney, so I should have said that. I should have said that I'm appearing in proper person. In any event, it's an application to proceed in forma pauperis. It starts off right away with an affidavit, and I'm just stating here that I am the plaintiff and that I cannot prepay court costs and court fees or give any security because of my state of poverty. This is when I was in college. The court erred in failing to deny the motion to dismiss for lack of points and authorities on DCR 13 sub 2, and that I in good faith construed defendant's argument as an attack on the propriety of punitive damages and argued in opposition accordingly. The court, by raising other arguments, I mean, this isn't even really a good argument the court raised, the whole thing about needing evidence, because you don't need evidence at the early case, when the pleadings are there. You need that through the summary judgment phase and then later on if you actually get to trial. In any event, none of this is going to matter. It's all going to get reversed. The court, in requiring evidence by surprise, that's true. The court erred in its application of the law, that's true. The court potentially erred in allowing a corporation to appear in proper person. This is actually what the Supreme Court's going to key in on right here. So they didn't just potentially err. That's exactly what they're going to say. The court erred in finding the TRO in bad faith. I agree with that. I do think that the law supports his position, but it wasn't filed in bad faith. Going into next page, presently employed as paralegal, earning $17.82 per month, have not received in the past 12 months any income from a business or profession or other form of employment. Then the amount, now this would be redacted if it was my ex's financial stuff, but this is my financial stuff and it's from forever ago. And I feel like I really don't care if you guys know, and it's just going to help you guys understand forma pauperis. So I'm just going to let you see it. Checkings and savings account with hardly any money in it. Toyota Corolla from 2009 with a $10,000 value. Student loan debt. Child of age 6 is dependent on me. Monthly expenses and food, transportation, childcare, leftover income, which is only $159.54 is needed for educational expenses. And that looks like the whole of the affidavit. Argument, we have Rule 24 sub 1, leave to proceed in forma pauperis must be first sought in the district court, and that's under Rule 24 sub 4. By the way, I think this was a headache too. No, not with this case. Okay, that's with a different case. Never mind, I'm going to keep going. There was another case where this became an issue, but we're fine here. I'm not for abusing forma pauperis status. I paid the filing fee to initiate the action, and I just can't pay the filing fee for the appeal. List of exhibits. We have 5 exhibits. We're going to go through all 5. Oh, except for Exhibit 5, which is a child custody order, which I've already gone through in the My Docket series. And standard policy with My Docket series is to not go over the same thing twice. You can always download this document for yourself, take a look. If you think I missed something, just mention it down in the comments below. But we'll go through the other exhibits. Exhibit 1, pay stub. This is not a legal document, so I'm just going to fly through this. Again, guys, just download it for yourself if you want to get into the details. Exhibit 2, bank, same thing, not a legal document. You can look at the bank account, I don't care. Exhibit 3 looks like insurance, same thing. I don't spend a lot of time on non-legal documents, guys, because you all have bills, you know what this stuff looks like. This looks like my student loan debt at the time. And then, as I mentioned, this is the court order that I already went through in the child custody case. Anyway, if you've watched the My Docket series on high conflict child custody, you will have seen this order. Next document. Amended notice of appeal. Why am I appeals? Maybe I just put the wrong date or something on the other one. I imagine that I probably just put the wrong date on the other notice of appeal. I don't think it would have mattered. I don't think I had to file this amended notice. I would have probably been fine. Rule 5, certificate of service indicating this document was mailed to the Charles Shinichi's corporation. Then we have a certificate of clerk and transmittal. Again, they're just sending up the amended notice of appeal. It's good that they're on top of that. Notice of supplementary exhibit to the forma pauperis application, and I'm just letting Chief Judge David Hardy know. What am I letting him know here? Rule 5, certificate of service. Okay, I'm giving him a copy of the opening brief. I mean, the judge is supposed to consider the merits of what you're trying to get forma pauperis status on, at least to some extent. So I guess my thinking was I'm just going to give him the opening brief. And so I just did. I attached the opening brief just to let him know this is serious. I'm not screwing around. I am going to file an appeal and I know what I'm doing. And it does reverse. So, I mean, I was honest to my word. I'm not going to go through this whole opening brief here, guys, because the actual filing is going to come up very soon, probably in the next video, maybe the one after. And so at that point, we'll go through the actual filed opening brief. Order granting motion to proceed in forma pauperis. So the Chief Judge has sided with me on this one. He is indicating that I have provided sufficient financial information to warrant granting the motion. Therefore, it is ordered that the motion to proceed in forma pauperis is granted, that the court will allow me to proceed on appeal without paying costs, and that the sheriff, if needed, will serve documents for me for free. But I didn't need that, so the sheriff didn't have to serve anything for me. Certificate of mailing under Rule 5. Chief Judge is mailing this to me. Notice of entry of order. Okay, so this is kind of a reflex. Typically, my understanding of this notice of entry of order is that it controls the deadline to file an appeal, and I talk about this a lot in the video, notice of entry of order. I feel like in hindsight, I didn't need to file this because a forma pauperis order is not appealable anyway. There's a statute that says so, that you can't appeal those. And so since it's not appealable, I just don't see the point in doing a notice of entry of order, but I did it anyway. I think like a lot of people, including me, just get into the habit of doing this anytime an order is entered in this particular district. Maybe it's different in other states or in other districts in Nevada, but anyway, I just wanted to let you guys know that I probably didn't need to do this. And if you want to learn all the details, please watch my video on the topic, notice of entry of order. Certificate of Rule 5 service indicating this document was mailed to Corazon Real Estate. Last document is another certificate of clerk and transmittal, and they're sending to the Supreme Court the order granting motion to proceed in forma pauperis. This is going to trigger a waiver of my requirement to pay those filing fees. So the Supreme Court just needs to see this so that they can let my appeal proceed for free. Going into the aftermath, I filed 1, 2, 3, 4 4 documents, it looks like, which they're all free filings, so I incurred $0 in costs. Charles Chinichi didn't file anything, so he incurred $0 in costs. I didn't have an attorney, so I incurred $0 in attorney fees. And Charles Chinichi's attorneys would eventually, most likely, review these. But again, guys, they're going to glaze through these very quickly. And I think all 7 documents, I wouldn't be surprised if they only spent 15 minutes on it. And that's going to cost him at the rate of $250 an hour, $62.50 in attorney fees. As my previous videos, if you have any questions, feel free to post them down in the comments below. And I will see you guys next time.